Hello lovely people, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, let's start with a happy little painting. I'm using an 8 by 10 inch canvas and I'm going to start off with my sky in acrylics. So I'm using titanium white, cadmium yellow and cadmium red plus alizarin crimson to get this really beautiful pinkish slash lemonish sunset sky. Now again, it is totally your choice what color sky you want, but today I just thought I'm going to spice things up by changing my sky. So here you see me happy with my sky, moving on to my beautiful little mountains. So for this I've mixed in ultramarine blue with Van Dyke brown and tiny bit of titanium white to get this lovely color for my mountains. Now I'm just blocking it in, and the fun part is going to be later in the video when I'm going to dress up my mountains. This part over here is fairly simple. Just pick the color and fill it in. That is it. That's all you need to do in the beginning of any painting. Right. Now this is almost done, so we move on to the trees that are at the footsteps of these mountains. So here I'm using sap green to block the color. Here you will see me just going, in a different kind of height, because not all trees are going to be same height. So I'm just like using my brush to just create a little bit of that illusion before I get on to the path. Yes, we have a lovely path that takes us to this beautiful mountain chain. Here I've used yellow ochre with a little bit of titanium white. You will see that the very end over there is quite light, and then I'm just having a little bit of darker shade at the bottom here. So let's quickly block this in before we move on to creating our grass. Okay, I'm going to pick up my trusted fan brush soon, and I'm going to start filling in this blank space in my canvas and give you an illusion of a lovely little farm that is leading to this beautiful mountain chain. So here I'm just filling in lovely grass on my canvas, and then I will go in later to create a little bit or more of details. I've also used a little bit of yellow ochre because we don't have any space in nature that is one color. So now I'm using my Mars black and I'm creating illusion of trees. You will notice our trees have started to differentiate themselves from the grass. Time to dress up those mountains. So let's start with our snow. I'm using titanium white to create my snow on one side of the mountain, and then I will create shadow effect. You're going to see these mountains come to life so quickly. Just hang in there. The key tip over here is just be very light with your hand. Pick up a little bit of color and be very light. Don't apply too much force. Don't try to force situation here. Just be gentle. Right, now I'm moving on to the shadow part. I am using powder blue. You could just add a little bit of ultramarine blue to your titanium white. Here you see me creating the shadow, and as I'm creating the shadow, you can see our mountains are becoming 3D. They're no more 2D. So in the end, I will go with a little bit more titanium white, just in the places where I felt the mountain was tiny little bit naked, and our mountains are ready. There we have them. How beautiful. Right, so that's our mountains more or less done. Our sky is looking pretty. Our mountains are all dressed up. Now let's sort out our foreground. So for the foreground, I just decided to go in with cadmium yellow. We're gonna have some yellow flower field over here, okay? Now you can think it's sunflower, you can think it's some other flower, but wherever it is in your imagination, just go with it. If you want to use a different color, use a different color. Be my guest. There is no right or wrong in any painting you create. It's all about what's your vision. I don't know, somehow I felt like yellow flowers would look great, so I've gone with yellow flowers. Now, let's just add a little bit of detail, tiny bit of detail to our lovely trees. And I'm going back in my grass because, again, we don't want something so one color. So I'm adding a little bit sap green and then just going over some areas. Here I've picked in tiny bit of permanent green and just creating tiny bit of variation in our painting. Well, that's pretty much it. I hope you've enjoyed it, and until next time, please keep smiling.